Hey there. Still with you.
Chatgpt. Then my discussion
Hello.
today, my discussion topic is how to stay motivated during tough times. Okay. And this regard my first question is what does it mean
Mm,
to stay motivated during tough times?
totally. Staying motivated during tough times usually means keeping enough sense of direction and purpose that you don't quit, even when things feel heavy. It's that quiet persistence, showing up one more day.
Yeah. So my second
Yeah.
question, why do people lose motivation when facing challenges?
Usually it's a mix of exhaustion, disappointment, and too much pressure at once. When progress feels invisible or problems keep piling up, the brain basically says, hey, this is too much. And so people retreat to something safer. It's really common and doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes it's just a signal to rest, reset, and adjust.
Okay. So my next question, how can a positive
Mhm.
mindset help during difficult situations?
The positive mindset doesn't magically fix the problem, but it changes how you see it. And that shift can keep you from spiraling. It helps you spot small options, like tiny next steps you can still take instead of focusing only on what you can't do. And that can be the difference between giving up and moving forward, even if it's just inch by inch.
What are the biggest obstacles to staying motivated?
Hmm. The big ones are burnout, unclear goals, and feeling isolated. Also, expecting motivation to constantly feel high can backfire because motivation naturally dips sometimes. And when people chase perfection, they drain momentum
And next question, why is self-belief important during
fast.
hard times?
People think because when everything around you feels unstable, self belief is that it doesn't erase fear or stress, but it keeps you from quitting too soon. It buys you patience with yourself
Okay. And next question, how can setting small goals improve motivation?
small goals give quick, doable wins, which tell your brain, hey, progress is happening. That sparks momentum. And once you feel momentum, even motivation shows up more reliably.
Next question, what role does resilience play in overcoming difficulties?
Resilience is the bounce back muscle. It helps you recover after setbacks instead of just powering through. It allows you to feel the hit and still move. Without it, challenges feel final. With it, they're just temporary.
Okay. The
It
next
turns a
question,
hard moment into something survivable rather than something that defines you.
how can daily routines help maintain motivation?
Daily routines reduce decision fatigue and create rhythm. You don't have to renegotiate with yourself all day long. Small rituals like a morning walk, a short planning note, or even breathing breaks can act like mental checkpoints. Over time, routine makes motivation less fragile because you're not relying on mood alone. You're leaning on habits that carry you.
Why is why is consistency more important than perfection?
Because consistency builds trust with yourself. Perfection is flashy but brittle. Consistency is boring sometimes but reliable. Over time, steady effort compounds like interest. Small, repeatable actions shape long term results far more than one perfect burst. And when tough days hit, consistency gives you something to fall back on, a familiar step. That's where resilience lives.
Can you speak little faster than previous speed?
Sure thing. I'll keep it a bit brisker.
Okay. So my next question is, how can gratitude improve your outlook during tough times?
Gratitude shifts focus from what's broken to what's still there, even if it's something small. And that little shift can lower the feeling of threat, which makes room for clearer thinking and steadier energy. It's not pretending everything's fine, it's spotting what's still working so resilience has something to stand on.
What are the benefits of focusing on what you can control?
It cuts down rumination and frees up energy for actual action. Less noise in your head makes room for clearer decisions. And it usually feels more empowering too.
How can positive affirmation boost confidence?
When used sincerely, affirmations reinforce a narrative of I can handle this. But they work best when anchored in things you're actually doing. So they don't feel like empty slogans. Nudge your brain to expect a better outcome, which makes confident action more likely.
Why is it important to celebrate small victories?
Because small wins build momentum. Each celebration tells your brain this effort matters, which keeps motivation alive and makes tough stretches feel more doable. It's fuel for the next step.
How can journaling help during stressful periods?
Journaling gives your thoughts a place to land so they stop swirling. It can turn vague stress into specific problems, which usually feel easier to handle. Plus, seeing progress on paper reminds you that rough patches do move, do change. And that sense of I've gotten through before builds calm confidence.
How can failure become a source of motivation?
When you reframe failure as feedback, it becomes data instead of proof that you can't. That shift turns sting into direction. You ask, what exactly didn't work? Instead of, what's wrong with me? That curiosity fuels improvement, which is its own motivation. Builds, and suddenly failure isn't an endpoint, it's a stepping stone.
Okay, what are healthy ways to deal with disappointment?
First, name it. Say it plainly without dressing it up. Next, feel it without rushing past it. Then ask, what's one small thing I can do next? And if needed, talk it out with someone who's steady. It turns heavy feelings into something workable. Disappointment doesn't get the last word. Your next step does.
Why should you avoid comparing yourself to others?
Because comparison usually compares your insides to someone else's outsides, which isn't a fair match. It can drain motivation fast and distract from what's actually in your control. Better to compare you to past you. That keeps growth personal and actually motivating.
How can learning from mistakes help you grow?
Learning from mistakes shows you what to try differently next time. Each mistake is a slight course correction. Over time, those corrections add up and build confidence because you see yourself adjusting, not repeating. That's growth in action.
What role does patience play during difficult times? Do you understand my question?
Patience moves. It lets solutions percolate instead of forcing quick fixes that don't. I think so. Is external pressure so you can stay steady long enough for progress to actually show up. Without it, stress piles on. With it, you give yourself a little space to breathe and choose your response.
How can inspirational books motivate you?
They offer examples, stories of other people getting through hard stuff, which makes struggle feel less lonely. They also reframe problems and suggest new ways to think. Yeah, no. When the ideas click, you leave with a push to take even one small step. That nudge can be enough to restart momentum.
Okay. And what role do mentors play in staying motivated?
They anchor you. Events can recharge energy and remind you of your purpose, while mentors offer perspective and practical wisdom. So you're not reinventing the wheel alone. Both help restore momentum.
Please give me answer in uh, faster speed. For my question,
Sure.
how can
Mhm.
supportive friends and family encourage you?
Supportive friends and family remind you you're not carrying things alone. They echo belief when yours wavers. And that energy can be enough to get you moving again.
Please increase speed further. Why is asking for
Sure
help
thing.
a sign of strength?
It's strength because it takes honesty to admit limits and courage to let others in. It often moves things forward faster than stubbornly trying to power through solo. Yeah.
Okay, how can surrounding yourself with positive people improve motivation?
Positive people set a tone, realistic, not sugary. They make effort feel normal and setbacks survivable. They reinforce healthy habits by example and nudge you forward when your energy dips.
What are the benefits of joining a support group?
Support groups normalize struggle, offer lived tips, and remind you that you're not weak for finding things difficult. That shared understanding reduces isolation and keeps motivation steadier.
How can
You're,
prayer or meditation help during hardships?
they quiet mental noise, create space, and anchor you to something bigger than the immediate stress. That sense of perspective can
Please give me
bring
answer in faster
calm
speed.
and, sure, it grounds you. And that calm steadies motivation so you can keep going.
Okay. Why is hope important in difficult situations?
Hope hope keeps you oriented toward better possibilities. It makes today's effort feel worthwhile even when outcomes are uncertain. Without hope, even small tasks can feel pointless. With it, those same tasks feel like steps in a direction. That's powerful.
How can physical exercise improve motivation?
Exercise lifts energy, clears mood, and gives quick wins that remind you, hey, I can show up. Over time, that repeated proof of action can spark motivation more reliably. It's like teaching your brain that progress is possible one session at a time.
What is the motivation between mental health and motivation?
Mental health is the foundation. When it's stable, motivation has something solid to stand on. When it's shaky, motivation comes and goes. So, tending to sleep, stress, and basic self care isn't extra. It's the groundwork that keeps motivation possible.
How does getting enough sleep affect your uh, motivation?
Enough sleep sharpens focus, stabilizes mood, and lowers irritability, which makes steady effort more doable. And without it, everything feels harder than it should. Sleep is quiet rocket fuel.
Why is a healthy diet important during stressful time?
A healthy diet stabilizes energy and mood. So you're less vulnerable to stress swings. It won't fix everything, but it's one more piece that makes motivation easier to sustain.
How can reducing stress improve productivity?
Stress reduction clears mental clutter, so attention sticks better, energy lasts longer, and tasks feel less overwhelming. In short, calmer mind, better output.
What are effective stress management techniques?
Try a mix: breathing resets, short walks, light exercise, brief journaling to unload thoughts. Also, talking with someone steady helps to stop stress from looping. The key isn't doing everything, it's picking a few that you can do regularly.
How can time management help you stay focused?
Time management sets clear boundaries so you know what to do now and what can wait. That clarity cuts distraction and keeps effort from diluting. It's focus by design, not willpower.
Why
And
is it important to avoid procrastination?
because procrastination quietly piles feel heavier and stress sharper. Tackling things earlier usually means calmer work and steadier motivation. Later tends to be louder.
How can breaking large tasks into smaller ones reduce stress?
Smaller chunks feel doable, so your brain gets quick wins. Each little finish lowers tension and keeps motivation trickling instead of spiking and crashing.
What are the dangers of negative thinking?
Negative thinking narrows your view, highlights threats, and drains energy. Over time, it can erode confidence and make problems seem bigger than they actually are. That's why catching it and gently redirecting matters. Even one constructive thought can start to loosen that grip and bring your motivation back.
Okay, my last question is how can you replace negative thoughts with positive ones?
Start by noticing the thought without fighting it. Then ask, is this actually helpful right now? If not, swap it for a realistic alternative, something you can act on. Keep it believable.
ओके, ये था आज का
With
डिस्कशन
practice,
टॉपिक। ये था हमारा आज का डिस्कशन
sure.
टॉपिक। इंशाल्लाह मिलेंगे नए टॉपिक के साथ, तब तक के लिए।
Hmm. शुक्रिया, मैं यही हूँ। जब चाहें बात जारी रखते हैं।